whenever someone talks about a full armor Gundam, they're thinking either the one from Thunderbolt or, if you want to count, the full armor Unicorn. But there is one full armor Gundam that no one ever talks about or barely talks about. That would be the full armor Gundam 7th. How's it going, guys? It is Plastic Disasta, and I'm going to do the review of the high-grade Universal Century Full Armor Gundam 7th from the game or manga Mobile Suit Gundam Battlefield Record UC0081. And let me tell you, I never played the old game or read the manga, but I have read on the synopsis. It's about a group of Federation soldiers. They have a group called the Phantom Sweeps hunting down the Zeon remnants, and they have a group called the Invisible Knights. And this is the main Gundam in that story. Moving on to review, taking a look at the box art, we see the full armor Gundam 7th firing its beam rifle and a massive shoulder cannon, and right over here is the black and white image. Just a heads up, this kit came out in 2009, and that's when Bandai starts improving their Gundam models. Taking a look at this side of the box, it shows the weapon layout, the Gundam in its firing pose, and showing off its hip articulation. Looking at this side of the box, we have the front and rear shot of the kit, and I believe this is the history of this Gundam. And right here we have a nice CG render in color, and right over here is the specs of the Gundam in Japanese. So cracking open the box, we are greeted with 3 bags of runners and a manual. Looking at the cover of the manual, here is the specs in English and the model kit all put together and painted. Cracking open the inside of the manual, it looks like we have information about the weapons and a new action shot. And right down here is an advertisement of the PS3 game I already talked about. Checking the parts list, it looks like we're going to be using all of them except for this one tiny little polycap. Looking at the back of the manual, we have the Gundam in an action shot. Right here is the details. Down here is a familiar CG render, and right down here is a color guide if you're planning on painting it. Starting off with runner A1 is going to be a multi-colored runner of blue, yellow, red, and light gray. Runner B is going to be the white parts. Runner C is going to be more white armor parts, and looks like we have 2 of them. And runner D is going to be the dark gray parts. It's going to be parts for the hand options, the joints, and a massive shoulder cannon. Polycap runner, and a reasonable size sticker sheet. Alright, so that's going to be it for the unboxing. I know it's going to be a quick build, but the one thing that concerns me is how the out-of-box presentation is going to go. But if we're talking about the engineering, maybe it won't be as bad. Okay, so I'm going to put this kit together right now. I'll see you guys right after. Here we have the full armor Gundam 7th all put together, and I gotta say, the building was really easy, though there are some parts that did kind of show its age. Other than that, the engineering on this kit is actually not bad. And if we're talking about the out-of-box presentation, well, it's not terrible, but at least some of the details are molded so you can paint that in. I also like the proportions on this kit. It's got like a nice balance between slim and bulky. Moving on to seam lines, and you're gonna like this one because there is no seam lines on the head. Of course, there are seam lines on the shoulders. Moving on to the forearms, there is a seam line right over here, but that could go as a detail until you see this little one right here. And you have another seam line on the back of the arm. You have a seam line on the front and the back of the legs. This is kind of a tricky one. There's one on the ankle armor and a complicated one on the top and the bottom of the giant shoulder cannon. And how could I forget, there is one big seam line on the thrusters on the back skirt. Also, if this bothers you, this is hollow, so if you really want to get rid of it, you will have to apply some putty, wait for it to dry, sand it down, and paint it. Moving on to sticker placement, you got the eye stickers. Of course, it goes onto the eyes. You got the red and gray stickers. They are gonna go onto the side of the head, one on each side. This little red sticker is gonna go onto the forehead, and this other little red sticker right here is gonna go onto the back of the head. These 4 little red stickers is gonna go onto the front and the back of the shoulder. Pay attention how you place these stickers. The red and yellow sticker is going to go to the crotch right there. The black and gray sticker is going to go onto the knee sticker, and this yellow and black sticker is going to go to that little circle right there. So it's basically a sticker on a sticker. The big gray sticker with the black lines is going to go onto this part of the leg, while these 4 gray stickers is going to go onto the side of the leg. Pay attention how you place these stickers, and maybe a little back heavy as well. Just kidding, it's not that back heavy. And finally, these little gray stickers are going to go to the lower part of the knees. Even if you did apply all the stickers, you are still missing some color apps. Like, take a look at the out-of-box build and compare it to the studio shot. Of course, you're also gonna have to look at the back of the kit, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so that's gonna be it for the out-of-box presentation. I'm gonna work on this kit and I'll see you guys right after. Alright, and here is what the Gundam looks like after you put some work in. And just a heads up, all those little decals you see, those are water slide decals. It does not come with the kit. I just want to put a little extra effort. And as for detail painting, well, it's actually not that hard until you go to the backpack. You gotta put yellow on front and white in the back, but as long as you're careful, you know, clean up the excess paint, you should be good to go. Moving on with accessories, starting off with the hand options. As you can see what's on the kit, those are the weapon holding hands, and next up you have 2 open palm hands. Next up you have its beam rifle. Now just a heads up, it's all in light brownish gray, but I did have to paint some areas in with dark gray. And you also have a secondary handle which moves in and out. Next up you have its shield. The 07 is a water slide decal, doesn't come with a kit. And what I also like about the shield is that, see this yellow Federation logo? It's actually a separate piece. Of course, you have the adapter piece which you can attach to the side of the arm or under the arm. And you can attach the shield on either arm. Except you have these beam saber handles, but you don't get the beam saber effect part. Now, if you own like a bunch of kits already, I'm sure you can lend a part or two. Finally, the one you've been waiting for, the giant shoulder cannon, which is on a ball joint. And there's little silver bits right there. I paint those silver. And I think they did a pretty decent job of hiding these hollow areas right there. Moving on with articulation, the head is on a double ball joint. The shoulder can swing out this far, and it's also on a ball joint. The arm can move out this high. You get a bicep swivel, double bend on the elbow, but it gives you over 90 degrees, and the wrist is on a ball joint. You get a ball joint on the lower abs, and you also get a waist swivel. Front skirt can move out that far. The side skirt is on a ball joint, and it can move out just a little bit. Back skirts right here is on a fixed position. The leg can kick up this high, can move back this far, not a lot, and it could go out this far. You do get rotation on the hips, thigh swivel, double bend at the knee, which is actually pretty good. The ankle armor can move up and down ever so slightly. As for the foot, it can go forward this far, can move back just a little bit, and it's also on a rotation. And as for pivot, I say it's not bad. Moving on to the backpack, I already said the shoulder cannon is on a ball joint, and you got this little thing, can swing forward and backwards and can rotate up and down. Moving on to the giant thruster, this can move up and down. Right here is on a ball joint, and finally right here can rotate. Overall, the articulation may not be in today's standards, but it's actually not bad. Size comparisons, here it is right next to the standard size RX-78-2, and is it me or the full armor Gundam 7th that's just a tiny bit taller than the standard Gundam? And I'm talking about head height, we're not talking about that big giant shoulder cannon. Now, I'm not sure if there's any other model kit that's from the same manga series, but here it is right next to another Gundam with a big shoulder cannon, or should I say cannons, the Gundam XX. And finally, here it is right next to Optimus Prime and Godzilla. So that's going to be it for the size comparisons. Let's move on to my final thoughts. Alright, so moving on to my final thoughts. Overall, I actually like this kit. If we're talking about the engineering and the articulation, I'd say it ages pretty well. But if we're talking about the out-of-box build, you're going to have to put in some effort to make it look good. Because I feel like the stickers doesn't really do this kit justice. And of course, the kit doesn't come with beam saber effect parts. Now, do these negatives really affect what I'm saying? No, because I still recommend this kit. Alright, so that's going to be it for review. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here and want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. Any questions, concerns, comment down below, leave a like. I'll see you guys in the next video. Now, if you were to ask me which full armor Gundam would win in a fight, I think we have a clear winner. but I'm not going to tell you who it is.